Amen.
Amen.
Yesterday,
Včera
in our class, we were exploring the experience before the Sunday law.
sme sa rozprávali o skúsenosti pred nedeľným zákonom.
We listed a number of what to call it, a number of things
Urobili sme taký zoznam tém,
that would lead us
ktoré nás
to the Sunday law.
vedú k nedeľnému zákonu.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here,
Máme ich tu 5.
and we saw that all of them
A videli sme, že všetky z nich
have a common property,
majú spoločnú vlastnosť.
and that property is that there's something that is existential. It's separate and external or outside from ourselves.
A tá vlastnosť je, že sa nás netýkajú, že je to niečo vonkajšie voči nám.
Separate.
Je to oddelené od nás.
So we
Takže my
look at these things happening,
sa pozeráme na tieto veci, ktoré sa dejú,
and we can make an assessment
a môžeme spraviť určité vyjadrenie k tomu alebo postoj.
we can check
Môžeme skontrolovať,
how close we are to the Sunday law.
ako blízko sme k nedeľnému zákonu.
Some of them are obvious ones, some of them perhaps not so obvious.
Niektoré sú také zrejme, niektoré sú menej zrejme.
Wars and rumors of wars,
Hovorí o vojnách,
the activities of the papacy.
aktivity pápežstva,
Those are obvious ones, famine, pestilence.
hlad a súženia, to sú také zrejme.
So as we observe these things, we know, or we feel that we know how close the Sunday law will be.
Keď sledujeme tieto veci, myslíme si, že vieme, ako blízko bude nedeľný zákon.
So what we do is that we look at signs and we become observers.
Takže to, čo robíme, je, že sa pozeráme na tie znamenia a staneme sa pozorovateľmi.
And that experience of observing
A táto skúsenosť sledovania
is fundamentally different to the experience of being tested.
je základne odlišná od tej skúsenosti toho, že sme skúšaní.
We know that the great test is the Sunday law.
Vieme, že veľká skúška je nedeľný zákon.
We've discussed that.
To sme hovorili.
So we have a good awareness
Takže sme si dobre vedomí,
that we're tested in this history.
že sme v týchto dejinách skúšaní.
But we also have good evidence
Ale tiež máme dobrý dôkaz,
that before the Sunday
že
law,
pred nedeľným zákonom
we are observers.
sme takí sledovatelia, pozorovatelia.
We did speak a little bit more,
Keby sme mali hovoriť o tom
but I
trochu
want to
viac,
go back to the question that we left ourselves.
vrátime sa k otázke, ktorej sme zostali.
I said that whose fault was it that we have developed this model?
Ja som hovoril, že koho je to chyba, že máme takýto model?
Fault implies wrong,
To znamená, že je to zlé.
and then the question is,
Otázka je,
who's to blame? Who's caused this dynamic to be set up?
kto to spôsobil a koho je to chyba?
And some people yesterday said, we,
Niektorí
humans,
ľudia povedali, že my ľudia,
and others said it was
a
God.
druhí povedali, že to bol Boh.
That's where we left our class.
Takže tam sme skončili tú hodinu.
And I said those people who blame humans,
A povedal som, že tí, ktorí obviňujú ľudí,
they don't really have to answer for their position
nemusia vlastne zodpovedať tú svoju pozíciu,
because all of us
lebo všetci z nás
are comfortable, or we should be comfortable,
sú v poriadku s tým, alebo by sme mali byť s tým v poriadku,
with the idea that humans make mistakes
s tým,
all the time.
že ľudia robia stále chyby.
And that's part of the issue about whether or not we know if we're sealed.
To je súčasťou tej otázky toho, či sme alebo nie sme zapečatení.
Because we look at ourselves
My
and at one another,
My sa pozrieme na seba a jeden na druhého
and basically all we see is failure.
a to, čo vidíme, je jedno veľké zlyhanie.
So I don't think we have a problem when we say that humans do things wrong or make mistakes.
Takže nemyslím si, že máme problém povedať, že ľudia robia chyby.
So when it comes to accusing God,
Ale keď príde na to, že obviňujeme Boha,
that becomes more problematic
to je už problematickejšie
for obvious reasons.
zo zrejmých dôvodov.
Because God doesn't sin, he doesn't make mistakes.
Boh nehreší a nerobí chyby.
So it's down to those people who have said this is God's doing to explain.
Takže tí, ktorí povedali, že toto robí Boh, musia to vysvetliť.
So over to you.
Takže môžete sa do toho pustiť.
The people who said that it's God that did this,
Tí, čo povedali, že je to Boh,
explain.
vysvetlite to.
And what I don't want people to do
Čo nechcem, aby ľudia robili,
is to blame Ellen White.
je obviňovať Ellen Whiteovú.
You can use Ellen White as evidence,
Môžete ju použiť ako dôkaz,
but that's just evidence against God.
ale to je dôkaz proti Bohu.
Brother Jonathan?
Jonathan?
Tell me why you see God. What's the evidence that you have that God has done this?
Prečo si myslíš, že to spravil Boh? Aký máš na to dôkaz?
If you go to Matthew 24, it tells you specifically to be.
Matthew 24.
Mali by sme ísť do Matúša 24.
But don't ask me for the verse now.
You can tell us the concept. We can help find the verse if you don't have
It says that when you see all this and this, you know the end is near. So it tells us specifically to watch for signs when the end is near.
Tam je napísané, keď vidíte toto a toto, budete vedieť, že koniec je blízko. To nám špecificky hovorí, že máme sledovať tie znamenia.
For example, verse 30.
Napríklad 30. verš.
Or if we read the verses before, I'm just saying this is standard Adventist thinking that when you see all those things happen, then you know that the end is near. And the Bible tells us several times to be watchmen, be aware of. Don't sleep. This would be my logic.
Just try to check the verses that you're referring to.
Toto je bežné adventné myslenie, že máme byť na stráži, máme sledovať, nemáme spať. Máme vidieť, čo sa deje.
So are you referring to, say, verse
Takže ty hovoríš o...
I'm saying if you read from, let me my German Bible. If you go to, give me a second,
So 6.
verse 6.
Keď pôjdeš do verša 6,
Yeah, 6, 7,
7,
8,
8,
9,
9,
10.
10.
This all gives you the concept of watch your history. See when these things happen, then you know your salvation is near.
To je ten koncept toho, sledujte dejiny, pozerajte, čo sa deje a potom budete vedieť, že vaše vykúpenie je blízko.
This is a literal reading of it.
To je doslovné čítanie toho.
And verse 9.
9.
You're an
verš.
observer.
This is what's gonna happen to you.
Das ist, was mit einem passieren wird.
So you're not observing.
Also du beobachtest dann nicht.
You observe how they kill you.
Du beobachtest
Sledujeme to, čo sa deje.
Okay. Anyone else?
Ešte niekto?
Three. So, if this is the experience before,
Ak toto je tá skúsenosť predtým,
what's the experience after?
aká je tá skúsenosť potom?
Where do you see that in Matthew 24?
Kde to ideme v Matúšovi?
I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about that the Bible gives us this hinge to be watchmen, to look for things to come. I wasn't thinking of when those things will happen. I was just saying that specifically Matthew 24 gives us the idea to look for signs, look for events, but I wasn't thinking of when these things actually happen.
Ja som nad
If you
tým
were to think of
nerozmýšľal.
when those things were to happen,
Also wenn man darüber nachdenkt, wann diese
Keby si...
passieren,
Ja,
when were they meant to happen?
wann sollten
ak,
sie denn
ak by sme
Then
mali
this
vedieť,
this
že
whole thinking
kedy
is probably wrong.
sa tieto veci majú diať, tak kedy
Because
sa majú diať? To by
I'm not
potom
an expert
všetko
now
bolo
in these
zlé.
verses, but
Ja na toto nie som
I
expert,
think I remember
ale
that a lot of these things apply to the 1260s
viem,
and
že
not
mnohé
at
z
all
toho
to the
sa
Sunday law
aplikuje
history.
na 1260, nie na nedeľný zákon.
So then the reading of the whole chapter would be wrong.
Potom to, ako to
But I'm just
čítame,
thinking
celé
this is
bolo
what
zlé.
people are inclined to
Ale myslím
see.
si,
See here in
že
Matthew 24 it says the coming of the man,
toto je to,
son
čo
of man,
rozumieme, že,
this and this will happen. And a lot of things are already
že tu nám je
literally
povedané,
fulfilled.
že máme tieto veci sledovať
we
a
make
mnohé z
them
toho sa už doslovne
part
naplnilo,
of the Sunday law history, which might be wrong.
ale my to možno aplikujeme na nedeľný zákon a to môže byť zlé.
I don't know if this makes sense.
A neviem, či to dáva zmysel.
Translate. Okay. So that's your best evidence to blame God.
Takže toto je tvoj dôkaz na to, že za to môžeme viniť Boha, že sledujeme vonkajšie udalosti.
This is my Adventist mind speaking.
Áno, tak to je moja adventná mysel.
And I think this is how I was taught
Takto som to bol vyučený, myslím.
if I say now from the church, then I could blame humans.
Keď poviem, že cirkvou, mohol by som za to viniť ľudí.
But a literal surface reading, I think would
Ale keď to
would
čítam
tell me
povrchne, to,
to
čo vidím,
believe it's God who is.
tak je to to, čo
Testing,
verím, že mám
or-
robiť. Sledovať to, čo sa deje okolo mňa.
Yeah.
Tak to tomu rozumiem z adventnej perspektívy.
You have another mind when you say your Adventist mind.
Keď hovoríš tvoja adventná mysel, máš teraz nejakú inú mysel?
You have an alternative
Máš nejakú alternatívu?
I mean, I don't say this to blame the church or whatever. I'm just saying
To nehovorím na to, aby som
This is how
obviňoval
people-
cirkev za niečo.
my experience. This is how people are raised in the church with this type of
Ale takto
understanding.
ľudia vyrastú v zbore s takýmto porozumením.
Frage bei mancher Dinge, das ist eigentlich mit so einem Verständnis, dass man in der Gemeinde aufgewachsen
I'm not saying it's everybody who thinks
Ja
like that,
nehovorím,
but
že všetci
this
tak
is at least
rozmýšľajú,
I know a few people who think the same way
ale
when they're in the church.
poznám ľudí, ktorí rozmýšľajú rovnakým spôsobom v cirkvi.
Ich sage nicht, dass jeder in der Gemeinde so denkt, aber ich denke, dass viele so sind.
The only reason I ask is,
Der Grund, warum ich frage,
yesterday you were blaming Ellen White,
Včera si za to vinil Ellen Whiteovú.
but if you were to ask Ellen White about Matthew
Ak by
24,
si sa spýtal Ellen Whiteovej ohľadne Matúša 24,
she'd actually set you straight.
ona by ti to dosť vysvetlila na rovinu.
That's why I'm trying to.
God. Ellen White's God.
No, what I'm trying to say is, I think it's a mixture. It's a mixture of
snažím
not
povedať,
reading carefully,
Že je to mix viacerých vecí, neopatrné čítanie,
Mischung von nicht vorsichtig lesen,
reading
That's your fault.
das ist
to je
reading
tvoja
a little bit
chyba,
Ellen White,
čítanie len trošku Ellen Whiteovej.
and okay, if I put myself in the position of an Adventist pastor, probably they read more properly. So yeah, maybe then it's my fault that I read incorrectly.
So you don't listen to them.
also du
Takže ty nepočúvaš adventných
They
kazateľov?
read correctly and you choose not to.
Keď si, alebo sa rozhodneš nie, že keď dám svoje,
This is what this movement taught me. Don't listen to the
to
pastors.
ma učí toto hnutie, nepočúvať kazateľov.
mir beigebracht hat, nicht den Pastoren zuzuhören.
Pastor's got it right and the movement's got it right.
I'm not saying literally that whatever a pastor says is wrong,
Ja
but at
nehovorím, že
least
to, čo
this
kazateľ
movement gives
povie,
a person
je
a
zlé.
mindset
Ale v tomto hnutí má človek ten spôsob myslenia,
Sagen falsch ist, aber zumindest gibt uns diese Bewegung die Einstellung,
that better check what the pastors say,
že by sme nemali sa tým zaoberať, čo hovorí kazateľ.
and the movement is correct. And I think I have to correct this understanding.
A,
That's why I asked you, do you have another mind?
čiže máš nejakú inú mysel?
Because now you just explained your real problem is your movement mind, not your Adventist one.
Čiže teraz ten problém hovoríš, že je mysel hnutia, nie adventná mysel.
Okay, maybe I have to correct this to a conservative Adventist movement mind.
Ja to opravím. Mysel konzervatívneho hnutia adventného.
Because definitely this movement is conservative,
To neznamená, že toto hnutie je konzervatívne,
coming from a conservative Adventist mindset.
ale vychádza z konzervatívnej adventnej mysli.
adventistischen, konservativen Verstand oder Einstellung kommt.
Okay? Brother Arian, you
Herian,
said
God.
God.
ty si tiež povedal, že Boh?
Why'd you say that?
Skús to vysvetliť.
Because I was thinking of quotes like Jesus in Matthew 24 or Luke 21 and quotes from Sister White.
Ja som rozmýšľal o slovách Ježiša z Matúša 24, Lukáš 21 a od sestry Whiteovej.
I had to think of Luke 21 and the parable of the fig tree.
A tam je to podobenstvo o figovníku.
Luke 21.
Verse 29.
Lukáš 21, 29. verš.
9.
Lukas 21, Vers 29.
He spake to them a parable about the fig tree.
Tam hovoril podobenstvo o figovníku.
Mm-hmm.
Und dann sagt ihnen ein Gleichnis, seht den Feinbaum und alle Bäume.
So he talks about this parable when you see these trees, but
Čiže on hovorí o tomto podobenstve, keď vidí tie stromy,
then you know that the summer is at hand.
že vieme, že vtedy je
And then he says, when you see all these things that he talked before
tak ako
happen, then you know that the kingdom of God is at hand.
vieme, že leto, že prichádza leto, takisto vieme, že keď vidíme tieto veci, prichádza kráľovstvo Božie.
So I don't want to I don't want to get into a study on this,
Ja nechcem sa dostať do toho, aby sme toto
and I
študovali
don't want to press you into a corner.
a nechcem nikoho tlačiť do kuta,
But in verse
ale
29,
v 29. verši,
what's the fig tree?
čo je ten figovník?
Do you have a position on that?
Ako tomu rozumieš?
Compared to the trees.
Ako,
God's
čo je
people.
figovník medzi stromami? Boží ľud?
So if I can paraphrase,
Čiže ak to môžem parafrazovať,
when you see God's people change,
keď vidíte zmenu v Božom ľude,
then the end's coming.
záver prichádza.
Is that what you'd say?
Myslíš? Tak to môže sa vysvetliť?
No, I mean, yes and no. No, because I think
No.
he explains the parable himself.
Ja myslím, že on prežíva to podobenstvo sám.
Then we have to go back in chapter 21 what he's referring to, but the fig tree is all the things that he talked about before.
Ten figovník, to sú veci, o ktorých hovorí predtým.
The fig tree is God's people?
Figovník je Boží ľud?
No, I'm not so sure about that.
Okay.
O tom
you
som
changed.
si nie až tak istý. Dobre, tak si zmenil potom
Yeah,
postoj.
Okay.
or yeah.
So no thoughts of why he chooses fig and then others.
Čiže nevieš, prečo si zvolí figovník a potom tých
I
ostatných.
mean, yeah,
I'm not gonna-
you can
I'm
go to another parable and show that a fig tree
Yeah,
is
I'm not
God's
going to
people.
push it because the first thing I thought was when it says fig and others, that like you, the fig tree is referring to God's people.
Prvé, čo mňa napadne,
Yeah, that's my
ako aj
first
ty si
thought as well,
povedal, je, že figovník je Boží
If it
ľud.
was,
Ak je to tak,
then your argument wouldn't be valid.
ten argument by potom nebol platný, ktorý máš.
dass der Feind vom Gottesvolk wäre, aber wenn das so wäre, dann
No.
dann wäre es nicht, dann wäre dein Argument nicht gültig.
Just like Jonathan's wasn't valid
Tak ako aj Jonatanov,
when he says, I'm observing them killing me.
že vidím, že ma zabíjajú.
No, it's not, because it's not this.
To není toto.
No, I agree.
Okay.
No, that was, I think, I'm not sure if it still is, but no, if you just take this parable of Jesus in the context of the chapter,
Keď vezmeš toto podobenstvo v kontexte tej kapitoly,
there's a whole list of things that he
Yeah.
warns his disciples for.
tam je veľký zoznam vecí, pred ktorými varuje učeníkov.
And you can cut these parts in pieces,
Môžeš to rozdeliť na menšie kusky,
but I don't think the signs that he's talking about in these verses before talk about God's people are budding or something, get more beautiful or something.
ale nemyslím si, že tu hovorí o tom, že Boží ľud sa stáva nejakým krajším a že kvitne.
Schöner wird oder so.
Okay, but it is talking about the previous passage.
Aber es
Dobre, ale hovorí to o tej predchádzajúcej pasáži.
That's what you are saying.
To hovoríš ty.
Okay, so I won't push.
Dobre, nejdeme tlačiť.
Sister Tamina,
Tamina?
you're the one, the God people. Yep. So yeah, your turn.
I'm going to not play Ellen White, but I'm going to use her as evidence.
Yeah, you can use Ellen White quotes.
Oh yeah, I had one. Couple
Takže ja
of
nebudem viniť Ellen Whiteovú, ale chcem ju použiť.
So we know the quote where she talks about the son-in-law being the great test.
Poznáme ten citát, kde hovorí o tom,
Okay, you got me worried then.
že nedeľný zákon je tá veľká skúška. Nedeľný zákon je veľká skúška. Keď pôjdeme do 2SM 102, prvý odstavec,
Second selected messages. Oh, the one we've already read. Yeah. Second selected messages 102. It's somewhere there. Maybe it's somewhere. Second selected message 102. Paragraph
2SM 102.
paragraph 1.
Vidíme, ako mileriti študovali proroctva. A potom sa tam píše, že proroctvo bolo videné ako symbolické vyobrazenie udalostí, ktoré vedú k záveru dejín. A proroctvo bolo postavené pred ľudí. A v ďalšej vete sa píše, že tie scény spojené s človekom hriechu sú posledné veci, ktoré sú zjavené v dejinách Božieho ľudu. Mileriti boli vlastne pozorovatelia vonkajších udalostí a videli naplňanie sa proroctva. A my musíme sledovať vonkajšie udalosti, aby sme videli naplňanie proroctva. A tu máme jeden príklad s človekom hriechu, to vieme, že je pápež.
And this one?
Tento?
We tested here.
Tu sme skúšaní.
The evidence for that.
Máš nejaký dôkaz na to, že tu sme skúšaní?
It's a question to you. Okay. Anybody got any comments?
Ešte niekto má nejaké komentáre?
Are you okay? Okay. Excellent.
I wanted to say the evidence that we had tested after the Sunday Law. This is what Ellen White tells us over and over again in The Great Controversy.
To, že sme skúšaní v nedeľnom zákone, sa spíše
The
stále
Sabbath
vo veľkom
Sunday
spore.
issue.
Téma soboty a
And
nedele.
we also have this testing thing in Revelation 14.
A tiež máme o tejto skúške v Zjavení 14.
Okay. So let's go to Daniel.
Poďme do Daniela.
Shall we do that? Brother Roland,
Roland,
you said men.
povedal si,
Problems with us.
Čiže
They
ty si
persuaded
povedal,
you that the problem's with God.
že problém je v človeku a potom ťa prehovorili, že problém je v Bohu.
Nein.
Okay.
Nie?
Sister Suella? Sorry?
You don't need to persuade him. It's just a matter of fact.
Nemusíme ho o ničom presvedčať.
What was your position, Sister Suella?
Suelen, ty si čo vravela?
Flopped. But I finally decided it was us because we're not reading it right.
Ja som sa nakoniec rozhodla, že je to naša chyba, lebo to nečítame správne.
And we're reading it right? No, you told me.
From the first week of our classes, I just understood that.
That we're reading right.
I mean, generally we're reading wrong, but we're trying to learn to read right.
Okay, but the passage that you gave us, you're reading that right, and it teaches us this. We learned that from God.
Tú pasáž, ktorú si nám dala, si myslíme, že myslíš, že čítame správne a že to ukazuje, že vlastne za to, že to takto chápeme, môžeme viniť Boha.
Sister Tamina proved that this was observation and this was testing.
Suelen nám dokázala, že toto je pozorovanie a toto je skúška.
Did she do something wrong?
Urobila niečo zlé?
You don't know.
Nevieš?
And yet you have a position.
Takže nemáš na to nejaký postoj?
Well, Carl,
I just want to repeat the question, please.
you want to repeat the question?
Yes.
Ty by si chcel, aby sme opakovali tú
We have
otázku?
this. We observe,
Tuto pozorujeme
then we're
a
testing.
potom sme skúšaní.
Why have we developed this model?
Prečo sme vyvinuli tento model?
Did we invent it,
My sme to vymysleli sami?
or did God give it to us?
Alebo nám to dal Boh?
Why do we think this way?
Prečo takto rozmýšľame?
That we say we need to get ready
Že musíme sa pripraviť
by looking at these things,
tým, že sledujeme tieto
and
veci
then we'll be
a
testing.
potom budeme skúšaní.
Okay, so
So why did we do that? Did we
Prečo to
make some
robíme?
mistakes, or did God show us this?
Urobili sme nejaké chyby, alebo Boh nám to takto ukázal?
Brother Roland says we've made some mistakes. It's not God's fault.
Roland hovorí, že my sme spravili nejaké chyby, že to nie je chyba Boha.
Sister Tamina says no. When you read it, this is where it takes you in this direction. This is what God's word is teaching us.
Tamina hovorí nie. Keď to čítame, berie nás to týmto smerom a tak toto vlastne z toho máme.
I think like Sister Tamina.
Ja by som povedal, že
Good. Sister
sestra
Dahlia,
Tamina má pravdu.
remind us what your position is.
Čo si ty o tom myslela?
God made a mistake.
Sorry?
God made the mistake.
God.
Že Boh urobil chybu?
So where would you take us to show us that? Or you're not sure?
A ako by si to ukázala? Či nie si istá?
Der große Kampf. Der
Veľký
große
spor?
Kampf.
Great controversy. You would want like Daniel 11.
Daniel 11.
Doch.
Good, I agree with it.
Tiež.
So let's go to Daniel 11.
Poďme sa pozrieť do Daniela 11.
Which verse?
Do ktorého verša pôjdeme?
Brother Arian, which verse?
Arian.
Good. Verse 40.
40.
At the
verš.
time of the end,
V čase konca,
what do we begin to observe?
čo začneme vidieť?
Two people fighting.
Dvaja bojujúci medzi
Sister
sebou.
Catherine? Do you care which one wins?
Kto tu vyhráva?
Nothing to do with you.
S tebou.
Just observe.
Ty len sleduješ.
Yes?
Áno.
You got to speak. Sorry, you got to speak. I can see you. Okay, so you're observing,
Sleduješ to?
and what are you waiting for?
A na čo čakáš?
Oder für was wartest du?
To see who wins, but we don't really care. I don't really care who.
You're waiting to see who wins.
Chceš vidieť, kto vyhráva.
And who wins?
A kto vyhráva?
King of the North.
King of the North wins.
Král severu.
So you're just waiting for the King of the North to win.
Takže sleduješ, čo robí král severu.
And then what happens
A potom, čo sa stane?
after he wins?
Potom, ako vyhrá.
The Sunday law.
Sunday law.
Nedelný zákon.
Get to verse 41.
41. verš.
And in verse 41,
V 41. verši
what happens to you?
sa s tebou stane čo?
Hopefully not. But
Dúfam, že nie, ale
what could happen to
čo by
you?
sa ti mohlo stať?
Overthrown.
Sorry?
Could be overthrown.
You could be overthrown.
Mohla by si byť zvrhnutá.
We okay with that?
Áno?
So here,
Tu
we're just observing two people fighting.
len sledujeme, ako dvaja ľudia bojujú.
We don't care who wins or who loses.
Je nám jedno, kto... teda
Then-
sledujeme, kto vyhrá a kto prehrá.
Immediately after the winner
A potom,
is announced,
ako máme toho víťaza,
many of us will be overthrown.
mnohí z nás budú zvrhnutí.
We weren't overthrown before.
Predtým sme neboli
We're going to be overthrown now.
a budeme teraz.
And the issue that will be overthrown over
Tá otázka,
Concerning.
nad ktorou budeme zvrhnutí alebo prevrhnutí,
is the Sunday law.
je nedelný zákon.
And to be overthrown means to fall,
Na to, aby sme boli zvrhnutí,
which means we're going to be tested.
musíme byť skúšaní.
So verse 40 and 41
Takže 40 a 41
in this
v
movement
tomto hnutí
is a clear affirmation of this model. In fact, that's where we get this model
je
from.
jasné potvrdenie tohto modelu. Odtiaľ vlastne ten model aj máme.
We observe two
Sledujeme,
people fighting.
A-
We know when this marker is going to be.
sledujeme dvoch ľudí, ako bojujú. Vieme, kedy toto príde.
It happens when the King of the North wins.
Keď král severu vyhrá, sa to stane.
It's nothing in this passage to do with the Pope.
V tejto pasáži to nemá nič spoločné s pápežom.
It's wars.
Sú to boje.
It's number 2 and number 3.
Je to dvojka a
I
trojka,
can say it that way.
keď to môžem takto povedať.
Number 2 and 3.
Číslo 2 a 3.
And then verse 41.
A potom 41. verš.
As soon as we get to the Sunday law, we'll be tested because many of us will be lost.
Keď prídeme k nedeľnému zákonu, budeme skúšaní a mnohí z nás budú stratení.
And
A
it speaks about the seal of God and the mark of the beast here.
to hovorí o Božej pečati a znamení šelmy.
Not only is it us,
Nielen ako o nás,
everyone's going to be tested.
ale všetci budú skúšaní.
And if we were to go to Matthew 13,
Ak by sme mali ísť do Matúša 13,
the limitation on Matthew 13
ten
is
limit,
it doesn't allow. What doesn't it allow?
čo nedovoluje ten limit, to obmedzenie.
When the servants look at the fruit,
Keď sa tí služobníci pozerajú na tú
and
úrodu
they see
a vidia
a wheat and a tare,
pšenicu a plevel,
what does the parable not allow?
čo nedovoluje to podobenstvo.
Put your hand up.
Das Unkraut herauszunehmen.
It doesn't allow the servants to pluck up the plants.
Nedovoluje to tým služobníkom vytrhať tie rastliny,
But as soon as they say to this one,
Aber sobald sie zu dir
Ale-
you're what?
du bist was?
keď povedia o tomto,
Aj.
že je to čo?
Bist du denn?
You're right where you're.
You're not right. They're immature.
Also nur noch nicht reif.
Ešte to nie je zrelé.
Which plant is that one?
Welche Pflanze ist das hier?
Which one's black and which one's green?
Welche ist die schwarze nochmal und welche ist nochmal die grüne?
not sure. Sister Serena, which one's black, which one's green?
I thought that one was the tear.
The black is the tear,
Toto je
the green
plevel
is,
a zelená
why
je
is the wheat
pšenica.
green?
Because it's immature, and when it matures, it changes its color.
Give me a word. From the book of,
Full white.
not full ripe.
Ešte
If it
to
was
nie je
full ripe, it
zrelé.
wouldn't be that colour. It would be that colour. That's full ripe-ish.
Toto je už zrelé, toto je ešte nezrelé.
Book of Exodus.
Kniha Exodus,
It's green.
je to zelené.
In the Hebrew economy,
V
what's the first month called?
židovstve, ako sa nazýva prvý mesiac?
Not the sun. Which means
Abib. A to znamená
means
zelený.
green. Means green. Abib, the first
Abib,
month, means
prvý
green.
mesiac, znamená zelený.
Are we okay with that?
A
So we've got
môže
the two
byť?
plants.
A to zelené, to je vlastne farba
And the
nezrelého
servants say,
obilia. Tí
You look pretty
služobníci
black.
povedia, ty si
What would
čierny.
this plant want to do? Brother Arian?
Arian,
What was this plant wants to do?
čo teraz Tina chce urobiť?
It knows what's coming.
Es weiß was.
Vie, čo prichádza?
He wants to become green.
He wants to become green, doesn't he?
Chce sa stať zelenou.
Aber möchte grün werden. Ist das nicht so?
And this one
A táto
is scared of the storm that's approaching.
sa tiež bojí toho, čo prichádza
Der kommt.
He says,
a povie,
I better become a tear.
Ich werde wahrscheinlich besser ein Unkraut.
Because Jacob's time of trouble looks ugly.
Denn die
radšej sa stanem plevelom, lebo
schlimm aus.
So
prichádza
the parable
Jakobové
doesn't allow
súženie.
them to change.
A to podobenstvo nedovoluje, aby sa vymenili.
Are we okay with that?
Áno?
But what does verse 41 say,
Ale čo hovorí verš 41,
Sister Catherine?
Katrin?
But these shall escape out
Don't
of
read the verse.
Edom, Moab, and Ammon.
Which is what?
Get away.
Which
Tares.
one? Which one's Edom, Moab, and Ammon?
The tares.
This one, the tares.
Toto je
What are
plevel.
they going to do?
Čo urobia? To je Edom, Moab a
They're
Adom.
going to jump over and become
Oni
wheat.
preskočia k pšenici a stanú sa pšenicou.
She likes that. She got too excited.
Also in Vers 41, 11. sehen wir,
You got to watch these parables
Tieto podobenstva musíte sledovať,
because they can't tell you everything.
lebo oni vám všetko nepovedia.
It's impossible for a wheat to become a tear
Je nemožné, aby sa pšenica stala kúkolom,
because tares
pretože kúkol
are the embodiment of evil.
sú plné zla.
It's a strong statement.
To je veľmi silný výrok.
So the embodiment means the body.
Stelesnenie. To je telo.
They've got an evil body.
Majú
And we
zlé
can't change
telo
our bodies.
a to nevieme zmeniť.
But
Ale
verse 41 says, sure you can
41.
change.
verš hovorí, áno, môžeme to zmeniť.
Because it says in
V
41,
41. Hovorí,
this wheat will be overthrown
že táto pšenica bude zvrhnutá
and the tear will escape.
a plevel unikne.
Now, of course,
Samozrejme,
we're not allowed to do that, are we?
toto nám nie je dovolené robiť však.
You can't go to verse 41
Nemôžeme ísť do 41. verša
and project 13 onto that
a projektovať na to 13. kapitolu Matúša.
because we know that tares cannot become wheat.
My vieme, že pšenica sa nemôže stať kúkolom.
So it's a totally
A
different
naopak.
model.
To je úplne iný model.
Are we okay with that?
Súhlasíme?
They swap places
Oni si
in 41.
v 41. si vymenia miesta.
So chapter 13 of the book of Matthew teaches you a different story.
Kapitola Matúš 13 nás učí iný príbeh.
Because we picked up in the verse 41 that many,
My si zo 41. verša vezmeme,
Not
že
all of them.
mnohí, nie všetci.
so Matthew 13
Matúš 13
is talking about those people who are faithful in verse 41.
hovorí o týchto ľuďoch, ktorí sú verní v 41. verši.
So this movement
Toto hnutie
has taught very clearly based upon these two verses
učilo veľmi jasne na základe týchto dvoch veršov,
that we will observe two people fighting.
že budeme sledovať, ako dvaja ľudia bojujú.
In fact,
Vlastne
part of our claim to fame
súčasťou nášho toho, čo sme tvrdili,
which we used to believe,
a tomu sme zvykli veriť,
but everyone who leaves the movement always rejects the message.
že ten, kto odíde z hnutia, odmietol posolstvo,
We used to teach
a my sme zvykli učiť,
before the Sunday law, the story is about whom?
že pred nedeľným zákonom ten príbeh je o kom?
It's about the United States
O Spojených štátoch,
fighting
ako bojujú
against the Soviet Union or Russia.
proti Sovietskému zväzu alebo Rusku.
And we would
A
argue
hovorili sme,
that there's this secret alliance,
že je medzi nimi tajné spojenie,
but we used to say
a zvykli sme hovoriť,
that they become the army of Rome.
že sa stanú rímskou armádou.
And I want us to consider
Chcem, aby sme zvážili
our concept of that,
ten koncept toho,
because we take these not Old Testament, we take these past models
berieme tieto staré modely
from the 2520,
2520,
1260,
1260
and we try to get those and superimpose them upon our message.
a snažíme sa ich zobrať a dať ich na naše posolstvo.
And we do it in a very casual and basic fashion
robíme to
that sometimes can actually lead you to wrong conclusions.
Takým veľmi základným, obyčajným spôsobom a to nás môže viesť k zlým záverom.
So just a general position
To je len všeobecná pozícia,
is that this is a story about the United States fighting with the Soviet Union.
toho, že toto je príbeh Spojených štátov a Sovietskeho zväzu, ich vzájomného boja.
It morphs into Russia.
Potom to prejde na Rusko.
When America wins the fight,
A keď Amerika zvíťazí v tomto boji,
it will mark the Sunday
to
law,
bude značiť nedeľný zákon
and then we'll be tested.
a potom budeme skúšaní.
I was just wondering, the last 10 minutes, our discussion, what has this to do with our question, which is still in my mind?
What's our question?
A čo toto má s tou našou otázkou? Táto diskusia.
The question is, who do we have to blame for this kind of thinking?
Koho musíme viniť za toto myslenie? To je tá otázka.
And I understand that Daniel 11, 40, 41, that this is observing and testing.
Ja som pochopil v Danielovi 40-41, že to je sledovanie a
The whole other issue was, I couldn't connect
skúšanie,
that to that topic.
ale nejak som to
Matthew 13.
neprepojil.
But you can move on.
So I'm saying
Ja hovorím,
that 40 and 41,
že 40-41,
which has got nothing to do with Adventism, it's to do with this
čo
movement,
nemá nič s adventizmom, to sa týka tohto hnutia.
that this movement teaches
Toto hnutie učí
based upon God's word,
na základe Božieho slova,
not taking any Ellen White quote.
keď neberieme žiadne citáty len Whiteovej.
We could do if you wanted.
Mohli by sme, ak by sme chceli.
And it teaches
a učí
really simply
veľmi jednoducho,
before the Sunday law,
že pred nedeľným zákonom
we observe.
sledujeme.
We don't care who wins.
Nám je jedno, kto vyhrá.
It's about two nations.
Je to o dvoch národoch.
We know who will win.
Vieme, kto vyhrá.
When they do,
A keď sa to stane,
the first thing that happens
prvá vec, ktorá sa stane,
is that many of us are destroyed,
je, že mnohí z nás budú zničení.
because that's when the testing begins.
Tedy začne to skúšanie.
Tells you straight out of these two verses in a really simple fashion.
To v jednoduchosti vyberieme z týchto dvoch veršov.
And the context is the Sunday law. It's not a previous history.
Ten kontext je nedeľný zákon, nie tie predchádzajúce dejiny.
So this would look like it's God's fault.
To by vyzeralo, že to je Božia vina.
The story's not that straightforward,
Ten príbeh nie je až taký jasný,
but I don't want to explore further on that along that point.
ale nechcem teraz v tom ďalej to
What I
rozvíjať.
want us to see
Len chcem, aby sme videli,
is that if you simply read God's word,
že ak čítate Božie slovo jednoducho,
it leads you to this model.
vedie vás to k takému modelu.
You could see it in a less precise way in Matthew 24, Luke 21,
Aj takým menej presným spôsobom sa to dá vidieť Matúšovi 24, Lukášovi 21.
we saw it neatly in Second Selected Messages, page 102.
Jasne to vidno v 2 SM 101.
So this would be 102,
To je tých,
and this would be
to je 2 SM 101 a
What
toto
page?
je
Welche Seite wäre das?
this is page 102.
Das war Seite 102.
This is page
toto je strana.
You mean 80.4?
good.
80 Paragraph 40.
80.
Excellent. So page 102.
Strana 102.
Observe the prophecies,
Sledujte proroctva,
the historical events.
historické udalosti.
Page 80.
80. strana.
Get tested.
Ste skúšaní.
So you can see it through spirit of prophecy,
Vidíme to v duchu prorockom,
but you have to take two different sections.
ale musíme zobrať dva rôzne citáty k
But
tomu.
we can do it with verse 40 and 41,
Alebo to-
which is the bread and butter of this movement.
Vidíme vo verši 40-41, čo je základný kameň tohto hnutia.
The basic verses that we use.
Základné verše, ktoré používame.
They teach this model really clearly.
Učia tento model naozaj jasne.
Some of us weren't here
Niektorí
a
z nás
decade ago.
tu neboli pred pár
If you
desaťročiami.
were,
Ak by ste boli,
you would know what the major fight that we used to have all the time.
vedeli by ste, aký bol najväčší boj, ktorý sme mali stále.
And that was about verse 41.
A ten bol ohľadne 41. verša.
In verse 41,
V 41. verši
the glorious land is United States,
tá krásna zem sú Spojené štáty.
and it's when?
A je to kedy?
In the future.
Je to ešte v budúcnosti.
People would read these verses differently.
A ľudia tieto verše čítali inak.
It's a Sunday law issue,
Týka sa to nedeľného zákona.
and when that happens,
Keď sa to stane,
lots of people would be destroyed.
mnoho ľudí bude
Adventists.
zničených, mnoho adventistov.
You can go into great controversy, says the same thing.
Vo veľkom spore to hovorí to isté.
In fact, I think we've already discussed it in class.
Myslím, že sme o tom aj hovorili na hodine. Ty si včera hovoril, že koho je to chyba a že to vlastne znamená, že je tam niečo zlé, takže ja chcem vedieť, čo je na tom zlé.
Is it even true? this model. Like in a sense,
Is what true? Sorry.
the fact that you're only observing part.
Veď to je pravda, že my len sledujeme.
So that's what we want to explore.
To je to, čo chceme zistiť.
Is it true?
Či je to pravda?
And
do we teach that, or does even Adventism teach that?
Ale učí to takto adventizmus?
what does Adventism teach?
Because I thought your original question was, this is the Adventist model, and why is this Adventist model wrong? Not in regard to our movement, but an Adventist model. I thought.
Ty si predtým hovoril, že toto je adventný model. A učí to adventizmus toto?
So what does Adventism teach?
Čo učia
that's different
adventisti?
to this?
Was lernt denn der Adventismus, was unterschiedlich zu dem ist?
That the Pope has secret agents that try to infiltrate the church and change the church, whatever.
Že pápež má
So it
tajných
affects you.
agentov, ktorí infiltrujú cirkev, aby ju zmenili.
Die Gemeinde einschleusen, um die Gemeinde zu trennen.
So we're going to see the church getting worse,
Čiže uvidíme, že cirkev ide zlým smerom, horším smerom.
and as we see the church getting worse,
A keď uvidíme, že sa cirkev zhoršuje,
this will tell us that the Sunday law is coming.
toto nám povie, že prichádza nedeľný zákon.
Yeah, I think so. I
Asi
think
áno.
that's maybe part of.
So would that be a standard Adventist
To
position,
je taká bežná adventná pozícia.
or would that be some small elements that would teach that?
Nejaké elementy z toho my učíme.
I don't. It's just what you see. I mean, if you focus on the evangelists or something, that conservative ones.
Keď sa pozrieš na
So
konzervatívnych
would they be people who
evangelikálov,
are part of the system or out of the system?
čiže to sú ľudia, ktorí sú súčasťou toho systému, alebo nie sú.
Yeah,
Structure.
I guess out of
Štruktúry.
the system.
Áno, asi sú.
So I don't think the structure itself would identify with that model.
No, that's true.
Ale myslím, že tá samotná tá štruktúra sa neidentifikuje s tým modelom.
We'll do that in a moment.
What came to my mind is
To, čo prichádza do mojej mysle,
I'm not so sure if our church believes that at the Sunday law you get tested.
nie som si celkom istý, či cirkev učí,
But
že
then
si
came to my mind,
skúšaný
oh no,
pri
actually
nedeľnom
it's close of
zákone,
probation at the Sunday law. What they
ale záver milosti pri nedeľnom zákone? Teraz neviem, čo
what the
myslí.
church probably don't believe officially.
Yeah, they don't believe that this is a shut door.
Oni neveria, že tu sú zavreté dvere,
What they believe,
ale veria,
and this verse would indicate this,
a ten verš to indikuje,
you observe
sleduješ
all of these things,
všetky tieto veci
and they wouldn't teach that it's America beating Russia.
oni neučia, že to je Amerika versus Rusko.
They might pick on the Pope
Možno sa dotknú pápežstva,
or the New World
nového
Order,
svetového poriadku
and his gathering power.
a to, ako zhromažďuje moc,
He does a secret deal
a že robí tajnú dohodu
with the USA.
uh,
Then one day,
a jedného dňa
the American government would say there's a Sunday law.
americká vláda povie, že bude
And
nedeľný
as soon as
zákon.
we hear that,
A keď to budeme počuť,
now we have to prepare
sa musíme
to be
pripraviť
tested.
na to, že budeme skúšaní.
So we have to do something because they're going to send a letter to us.
Musíme niečo urobiť, lebo nám pošlú nejaký dopis.
And whatever version we may have,
A nejaké iné verzie, čo môžeme mať,
somehow or another,
nejako alebo takým
United States
spôsobom.
will make Portugal do the same thing.
Spojené štáty prinútia, aby Portugalsko urobilo tú istú vec.
And we would argue
A my máme argument,
Portugal will be a pushover
že Portugalsko bude s tým prevalené,
because they already have that leaning.
lebo oni už majú k tomu sklon.
So some countries would fall easily and some more difficult.
Čiže niektoré padnú jednoduchšie, niektoré ťažšie.
Israel difficult, Portugal easy.
Izrael ťažko, ale Portugalsko ľahko.
It's the logic we would use.
Takúto logiku máme,
But we would still say the test begins here.
ale stále povieme, že skúška začína tu.
So it's only conservative Adventists
To sú iba konzervatívni adventisti,
that would have these conspiracy thoughts,
ktorí majú tieto myšlienky konšpiračné.
which they do have.
To majú.
If we were to go along with that,
Ak by sme mali ísť týmto ďalej,
then so I'm going to go along with what Brother Arian has suggested.
pôjdem s tým, čo povedal brat Arian.
Here's the structure.
Tu je štruktúra,
This is the church.
to je cirkev,
It's not a mountain.
to nie je vrch,
It's a pyramid.
to je pyramida,
It's a structure.
štruktúra.
We
My
are all at the bottom.
sme tu dole,
The members,
sme
then the local elders, conference. I don't know
To
which way
sú-
it goes, union or division.
to je ako obyčajní
Čo
členovia, potom vedúci,
Union, then division.
potom
And
únia,
then you get the boss
divízia,
at the top,
až máme na vrchu
General Conference President.
prezidenta.
Looks like a mountain.
Vyzerá to ako kopec.
So all these people
Títo ľudia,
that say it's been infiltrated,
ktorí hovoria, že všetko bolo infiltrované,
Brother Arvin, where are they
tak sa pýtam, a kde sú?
in this artwork?
Arian, kde sú v tomto?
In the top.
No, the people who are claiming there's a conspiracy.
Aha.
Tí, čo hovoria, že je konšpirácia, že je cirkev
say-
infiltrovaná, ty hovoríš?
Because you were one of those types.
Keď ty by si bol jeden z týchto ľudí, čo to tvrdia,
We've been infiltrated.
že sme infiltrovaní.
So where were you in this picture?
A kde sa nachádzaš ty v tom
Somewhere
obrázku?
in the bottom.
You are there?
Ja som na
You
spodku.
say, General Conference President, do your thing to me?
No, outside.
You're outside.
My sme mimo toho.
You say,
A ty hovoríš,
I got cut out of this mess.
vidíte z tohto neporiadku
It's nothing to do with me.
a ja tam nie som.
So you become
Ty sa staneš,
Observer.
you become an
ty
observer.
si pozorovateľ.
So all we've done is we've just added another point here
Tu som pridal ďalší bod,
that the church has been infiltrated by the
že
Jesuits.
cirkev je infiltrovaná jezuitmi,
Nothing to do with you.
s tebou to nemá nič.
You're still an observer.
Ty len sleduješ.
For those
Pre tých,
who are inclined to do that,
ktorí majú k tomuto
for
inklináciu.
that very small sliver of people,
To je taký prúd
for the
ľudí.
vast majority of Adventists, they wouldn't accept that.
Väčšina adventistov to nepríjma.
They would say that the church will remain.
Oni veria, že cirkev pretrvá.
Appears to fall, but it doesn't.
Vyzerá, že padne, ale nepadne.
Sure, there's apostasy,
Áno, je odpadnutie,
bad behavior.
zlé správanie.
Because what is the apostasy that's going on in the church?
Aké odpadnutie sa deje v cirkvi?
These are just people behaving badly, aren't they?
To je, že sa ľudia zle správajú.
Yeah, reformed.
Liberalizmus, odpadnutie
Which
od
have got nothing to
reforiem,
do with these issues.
to nemá nič s týmito témami.
That's how Adventists would develop their position.
Takto oni rozvinú tú svoju pozíciu.
So you tell me what your thoughts are on that.
Ako ty to vidíš?
Yeah, you're good in arguing. So
Sorry, and what?
you're good in arguing. You always win the argument.
I'm sorry.
Neviem argumentovať v tomto.
Why did
But it is a kind of a test then, right? If that is true, if this conspiracy thing would have been true, it's not. But then it tests these people, and then you decide to step out of that because you're now saying I'm out of this and it does not affect me. But you could also say, no, I'm part of it. Now I come to the realization, like, oh no, this is bad. I need to change my mind because I'm a general conference worshipper.
Why did you join this movement?
Prečo si sa stal súčasťou tohto hnutia?
Because of the truth.
Kvôli pravde?
Why do you not remain in the structure?
Prečo si nezostal v tej štruktúre?
Because they rejected the truth.
Odmietli pravdu?
Because the structure's going down.
Čiže tá štruktúra sa zosypáva
and you observe it going down
a ty sleduješ, že sa zosypáva
and you say nothing to do with me.
a hovoríš, so mnou to nemá nič spoločné.
No, but I was not. But as an Adventist, you're part of that structure. So you see yourself going down. So you're kind of tested and you realize I need to get out of this sinking ship. So it's not an observing only. It's kind of like you become part of it. You need to do something to get out of the sinking ship.
Ty vidíš, že sa loď potápa a povieš si, musím sa z tej lode dostať. Si skúšaný, keď pochopíš pravdu, ako na to reaguješ.
Just like you've lived in the USA with the same issue.
A prečo neodídeme z USA? To je ten istý
You don't
problém.
move countries,
Nepresťahujeme sa do inej krajiny,
but you change your position on that.
Your mindset, yeah.
len zmeníme postoj.
Okay, so we'll make our next step and we'll come back
Urobíme jeden ďalší krok a
and
vrátime
go
sa
over it again.
a prejdeme cez to znovu.
In this history,
V týchto dejinách
we spent a lot of time
sme strávili veľa času,
making what point?
sme robili ktorú pointu.
This story here,
V tomto príbehu tu,
Matthew 13.
Matúšovi 13.
What was the point we made?
Akú pointu sme robili?
Probably made many points, but the point that comes to my mind is why I think this down there is wrong, that we are observers, or we're getting judged and we're judges at the same time.
Sme pozorovatelia, sme súdení a zároveň súdime.
So we laboured the point that we're both the plant
Sme aj rastlina,
here
tu,
and we're the
a
servants.
zároveň služobníci.
We're being tested
Sme skúšaní
and we observe.
a sledujeme.
So when we come to this model,
Keď prídeme k tomuto modelu,
we can see that there are some weaknesses here,
vidíme, že sú tu určité slabosti.
that we're not just being tested.
Nie len, že sme skúšaní,
The verse 41 isn't a complete story.
ale 41. verš nie je úplný príbeh.
That we're observing here
Že my tu sledujeme,
as much as we're being tested.
takisto ako aj sme skúšaní.
So that wasn't the point that I wanted us to see.
To nebola pointa, ktorú som chcela, aby sme videli.
The point that I wanted us to
To,
see,
čo chcem, aby sme videli,
if we were to say that this movement is 30 years old,
ak by sme mali povedať, že toto hnutie má už 30 rokov,
and without defining properly
bez toho, aby sme poriadne definovali
the difference between prophecy and morality,
rozdiel medzi proroctvom a morálkou,
but we have got a working definition of morality now.
ale máme určitú fungujúcu definíciu morálky.
What are the pieces?
Čo sú tie
Even if
zložky?
we don't, I won't go with the whole model. What's the pieces that we saw for morality?
Nemyslím celý model, ale tie kúsky, čo sme videli, bolo
Okay.
čo?
With our neighbor
Neighbor,
Týka sa to našich
and
bližných
who else?
a ešte koho?
I'm not sure, but is
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
yes.
And
Miluj bližného ako seba samého a
who else?
ešte čo?
Can I? I'm not sure.
Sure. Sister Catherine? God.
Boha.
You need to love God with all your heart, soul and mind.
Musíš milovať Boha celou svojou myslou a dušou
And your neighbor
a,
as yourself.
a svojho bližného.
So it's morality has God and your neighbor.
Takže to je morálka, mať
Brother Wolf, Roland?
milovať Boha a svojho bližného. Roland?
What other property?
Aké sú ďalšie vlastnosti toho?
Society.
That's when you would join them.
Die haben wir miteinander verbunden.
Good.
What is it? How do we, when it says we love them as ourselves?
Was bedeutet es,
Ako ich milujeme?
uns selbst?
Ako vieme, že milujeme
Dass ich
bližných
eine
tak
richtige
ako seba?
Einstellung zu mir selber habe.
That I have the correct attitude towards myself.
Keď mám správny
Good.
postoj
And bad.
sám k sebe.
Und schlecht.
Dobre a
So
zle.
morality
Morálka
is how you treat people.
je, ako sa chováme k ľuďom.
If you treat them good or bad.
Zle alebo dobre.
And those people are whom?
A tí ľudia sú kto?
Either your neighbor
Buď naši bližní,
or God.
alebo Boh.
Are you okay with that? That's how we defined it.
Tak sme to definovali.
We haven't defined prophecy.
A proroctvo sme nedefinovali.
For many years,
Mnoho rokov,
because we come from a conservative background,
pretože máme konzervatívny
so I want to pick up
konzervatívne
this model
pozadie,
here,
chcem pozrieť sa na tento model.
that we observe that the church is corrupt, so we leave.
My sledujeme, že cirkev je zvrátená a tak odideme.
We might say it in a nicer way.
Môžeme to povedať peknejším spôsobom.
Our focus
Naše zameranie
was on these external events,
bol na tejto vonkajšej udalosti.
and in fact,
A vlastne
we would argue
by sme argumentovali,
for a large part of that, for a large part of our existence,
veľkú časť našej existencie,
that we're not allowed to leave the church,
že nie je dovolené nám odísť z cirkvi.
that we're not supposed to separate and be a new
Že sa
organization,
nemáme oddelovať a byť nová organizácia.
that the church needs to be fixed.
Že treba
Clean.
vlastne, že cirkev má byť prečistená.
And we got that idea from William Miller.
A to máme od Williama Millera.
He was non-sectarian,
On nebol sektársky,
just like we were.
tak ako my.
But then we began to change,
Potom sme to začali meniť.
and the first change that got introduced
Prvá zmena, ktorú sme videli,
was that we decided to begin to become organized.
bola, že sme sa rozhodli sa zorganizovať.
To become organized, you need money,
Na to potrebujete peniaze
and you need to have leaders and
a
followers.
vedúcich. A tých, ktorí
And then it led to
Nasledujú.
membership
a nejaké členstvo
and into baptism.
a krst.
So very quickly,
Veľmi rýchlo
we became a separate unit, a separate
sme sa
organization.
stali oddelenou organizáciou alebo zložkou.
And then we began to see that we were Ephesus and they were Laodicea and we need to come out.
Začali sme vidieť, že my sme Efezus a cirkev Laodiceu a že musíme výsť.
And in all of that,
A v tomto všetkom
we still had this idea that we're observers of bad things happening.
stále máme ešte túto myšlienku toho, že sme sledovatelia zlých vecí, ktoré sa dejú.
And then something changed 2 years ago.
Niečo sa zmenilo pred 2 rokmi.
And it's a change that people are still uncomfortable with.
A to je zmena, ktorú ľudia ešte stále neprijali.
Because we would say things like
A povieme veci typu
1989,
89,
9/11,
9/11,
25/20,
25/20,
maybe even time setting.
možno, že aj určovanie času.
All of that we could take in our stride, we could cope with.
Toto všetko by sme vedeli prežuť,
But then
ale potom
women's trousers,
ženy nosia nohavice.
where did that come from?
To je odkiaľ?
How'd you get from Islam attacking the United States to women's trousers?
Ako sa dostaneš od toho, že islám napadol Spojené štáty k tomu, že ženy nosia nohavice?
And how'd you get from the papacy doing a secret deal with the United States to destroy Russia
A ako sa dostaneš z toho, že pápežstvo urobilo tajné spojenie so Spojenými štátmi, aby zničilo Sovietsky zväz?
How'd you get from that
Ako sa dostaneš z toho
to saying we have to have women elders?
k tomu, že hovoríme, že musíme mať ženy ako staršie?
What's the connection?
Aké prepojenie?
How do we get
Ako
from
dostaneme
time setting
sa z určovania času
to a position where people who want to marry are not allowed to have or participate in a dowry system?
Čo? To som vôbec nepochopila. Ako sa dostaneme k tomu, že ľudia, ktorí sa chcú zobrať, nemusia mať účasť na neviem čom. Na akom.
And why are we suddenly interested in promoting yesterday?
A prečo zrazu nás zaujíma v tom, že robíme reklamu včerajšku? Teraz vôbec nechápem, čo myslí.
Obviously, Brother Jonathan wasn't interested in yesterday.
Brada Jona, teda to štúdium nezaujíma.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Nerozumiem, o čom hovoríš.
Why are we interested in yesterday?
Warum sind wir in gestern interessiert?
Sister Tamina?
Tamina?
No. Yeah,
General
yesterday. 15th of March.
birthday of RBG.
No, isn't that today?
Oh, it's today.
Isn't that today?
Oh, I thought yesterday. I don't know.
Tell us who RBG is.
Wer ist
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Good.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
And her birthday was?
Včera mala Ruth Ginsburg narodeniny.
15th of March, yeah, I thought it was 16th.
15th of March.
15. marca.
She was celebrated yesterday.
Wir hatten gestern
To bolo včera.
Let's do belated birthday. So why is that a big deal?
Prečo to má nejaký význam?
What's that got to do with the Pope?
Čo to má dočinenia s pápežstvom?
Not a big deal for Brother Jonathan,
Jonatána to nezaujíma,
but it is for me
ale pre mňa áno,
and others.
aj druhých.
Why?
Prečo?
Why is it a big deal, Sister Suwannah?
Suelen? Aký to má význam?
Because she's still alive.
Because she's still alive.
Ešte je stále nažive.
So that,
Why do we care?
A nás to prečo zaujíma?
well, she's a symbol of equality, and she's also holding the balance of between conservatives and liberals in the Supreme Court.
So she's a symbol of equality.
Ona je symbolom rovnosti.
And she's holding the balance of power.
Udržiava rovnováhu tej moci medzi konzervatívnymi a liberálnymi sudcami na
So
najvyššom súde.
the balance of power
Tá rovnováha moci
we
my
would say that's good.
by sme povedali, že
Prophecy.
to je dobré. To je,
But when I say we,
keď poviem my,
the problem with that argument is
problém v tomto argumente je,
our other half,
naša druhá polovička,
what's their position on
aká je
that
ich
issue?
pozícia na tento problém.
Who's the other half?
Čo je tá druhá polovička?
FFA.
FFA.
What's their position on this subject?
Aká je ich pozícia na túto tému?
Equality is obviously a waste of time,
Rovnosť to je strata času,
but the fact that she's holding the balance of power,
ale to, že udržiava rovnováhu moci,
they would be observers and say, sure,
oni sa na to pozrú a povedia, áno,
they can see what the Republicans are doing,
vidia, čo robia republikáni,
but they look at this issue as observers.
ale oni sa na to pozerajú len ako pozorovatelia.
So what I want us to begin to see,
To, čo chceme, aby sme videli,
people are now discussing,
ľudia hovoria,
not understanding,
nerozumejú,
the difference between prophecy and morality.
rozdiel medzi proroctvom a morálkou.
And are we now being subject to moral influences?
A že my sme teraz pod vplyvom morálnych vecí.
Is our message now moral
Na,
or is it prophetic?
naše posolstvo je teraz morálne, alebo je ešte stále prorocké?
And why has that happened?
A prečo sa to deje?
It's happened
Deje sa to preto,
because when we look at this history now,
lebo keď sa pozrieme na tieto dejiny
before the Sunday law,
pred nedeľným zákonom,
we have changed.
zmenili sme sa.
We have said, we're not interested in the Pope.
Povedali sme, že pápež nás teraz nezaujíma,
We're not even interested in the USA
ani Spojené štáty,
or any of these
a
issues.
žiadne tieto problémy.
What we're now concerned about
To, čo nás trápi,
is whether our brothers in this movement
je, či naši bratia a sestry,
agree with women wearing trousers,
teda či bratia súhlasia s tým, že ženy nosia nohavice,
if they accept women elders,
príjmajú ženy ako staršie,
and our general attitude about sexism.
a aký je náš celkový postoj k sexizmu.
And we're only beginning to rattle people's cages about homophobia.
A len začíname sa dotýkať tej homofóbie. Začíname zatriasovať s tými klietkami, v ktorých sú
And
ľudia.
that's making people even more nervous.
A ľudia sú ešte nervóznejší.
And what are all these moral issues got to do with prophecy?
A čo tieto morálne veci majú dočinenia s proroctvom?
So our message seems to have changed.
Vyzerá, že naše posolstvo sa zmenilo.
And now
A teraz
you're going to get into trouble.
sa dostaneme do problémov.
You in the movement.
Vy v hnutí.
If you're sexist,
Ak ste sexista,
you'll be punished.
budete za to potrestaní.
Now you're being tested
A ste skúšaní,
if you like women in trousers or not.
či sa vám páčia ženy v nohaviciach alebo nie.
If you're a woman and you like wearing trousers or not.
A keď ste žena, či rada nosíte nohavice alebo nie.
Or your attitude
Albo-
about homosexual people.
Aký je váš postoj k homosexuálom?
Or whether you will be subservient to a woman in a position of authority.
A či sa viete pokoriť pred ženou, ktorá má svoju pozíciu a autoritu?
How a husband will treat his wife.
Ako sa manžel správa k manželke?
All of these things are now being scrutinized,
Teraz sa
investigated,
vyšetrujú tieto veci.
we're being tested on.
A na toto sme skúšaní.
And now
A teraz
you're not being tested whether or not you believe 9/11 was an Islamic attack.
Nie ste skúšaní o tom, či veríte, že 9.11 bol útok
And if you
islamu.
disagree, we're going to throw you out.
Ak s tým nesúhlasíte, vás vyhodíme.
You're not being tested whether you're a vegan or not.
Alebo či ste vegán, alebo nie ste.
Now we're checking.
My teraz sledujeme,
What's your position
akú máte pozíciu
on the LGBTQ community?
na LGBT komunitu.
And people say, what has that got to do with prophecy?
A ľudia hovoria, a čo toto má s proroctvom?
This is why this question has arisen.
Preto vzniká táto otázka.
It's arisen
Vznikla,
because we've suddenly come to the realization
lebo sme si uvedomili,
the understanding
prišli sme k pochopeniu,
that in the Sunday law period,
že v období nedeľného zákona
not only are we tested, we observe,
nielen sme skúšaní, ale aj
and
sledujeme.
before the Sunday
A
law,
pred nedeľným zákonom
not only do we observe,
nielen sledujeme,
but we're tested.
ale sme aj skúšaní.
And what we're tested
A
on
to, o čom sme skúšaní,
has the same nature
má rovnakú podstatu,
as what we're tested on here
ako o čom sme skúšaní tu,
after the Sunday law.
po nedeľnom zákone.
And this test,
A táto skúška,
what property does it have?
aké má vlastnosti?
The Sunday law issued a Sunday law,
Nedeľný zákon,
Sabbath Sunday issue.
otázka soboty, nedele.
What kind of an issue is that? What kind of a test?
Čo je to za skúšku?
That's what it is.
To je tá veľká
The
skúška.
moral test.
Je to morálna skúška.
How you treat your neighbor,
Ako sa správame k našim
how you
bližším
treat God.
a k
Whether
Bohu.
you do right or wrong.
Či robíme správne alebo nesprávne.
It's completely moralistic.
Je to úplne moralistické.
So we would teach
My
before
učíme, predtým sme učili,
Sunday law,
pred nedeľným zákonom,
it's all prophecy.
že je to celé o proroctve.
Prophecy
Proroctvo,
are external outside events
to sú vonkajšie udalosti.
that we observe.
Sledujeme.
And if it gets too close to home,
Keď to príde príliš blízko k nám,
like the church,
ako
we leave the
cirkev,
church.
odídeme z cirkvi.
So we still observe.
Stále iba sledujeme.
We are not being tested
My nie sme skúšaní.
until we get to this Sunday law.
Až dokým neprídeme k nedeľnému zákonu.
And this is a moral
A
test.
to je morálna skúška.
And now we see
A teraz vidíme,
we're talking about nationalism,
že hovoríme o nacionalizme,
feminism,
feminizme,
and homophobia.
homofóbii.
And every single one of those three are all moral issues.
A všetky tieto tri sú morálne otázky.
We'll say at this basic level, they're not prophetic issues.
Na základnej úrovni to nie sú prorocké otázky.
They're moral.
Sú morálne.
These are prophecy.
Toto je proroctvo.
These other issues are moral.
A tie ostatné, to je morálka.
And so if we say that you're going to be tested now,
Čiže ak povieme, že teraz budete skúšaní,
many of us
mnohí z nás
say it's a false test.
povedia, že to není pravá skúška.
So they separate.
A tak odídu.
They call us all these names, obviously,
Dávajú nám rôzne názvy,
to justify themselves.
aby sa ospravednili.
But if you remain,
Ale ak zostanete,
then you're confronted with the issue
budete konfrontovaní s touto témou
that before the Sunday law,
pred nedeľným zákonom.
not only are you to observe all of these
Nie len,
things,
že máte toto všetko sledovať,
and you are,
to máte robiť,
but you'll be tested.
ale budete skúšaní.
And you're going to be tested on what issue?
A ohľadne akej témy?
Moralistic issues.
Ohľadne morálnej témy.
And so
Takže
we come to this question.
prídeme k tejto otázke.
Is our message
Je naše posolstvo
a moral message or a
morálne
prophetic
alebo
one?
prorocké?
Because the indications are
Tie indikácie sú,
that it's now become a moralistic
že
message
sa to stalo moralistickým posolstvom
and it's confused
a
people.
ľudí to metie.
Let's pray.
Poďme sa pomodliť.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for your goodness and mercy.
Drahý nebeský Otče, ďakujeme ti za tvoju dobrotu a
We
milosť.
ask and pray that you would guide and direct us
Modlíme sa, aby si nás viedol,
as we explore
keď zisťujeme,
how we are being tested
ako sme skúšaní
long before the Sunday law.
dávno pred nedeľným zákonom.
It's our hope and our prayer that each of us
Je to naša modlitba, aby každý z nás
will pass the test.
prešiel tou skúškou.
Be with us and bless us.
Prosíme, buď s nami
Bless the food that we're to eat.
a tiež jedlo, ktoré budeme jesť.
In Jesus' name we
V
pray.
mene Ježiša.
Amen.
Amen.